Hey everyone, it's Termite here, and today we're going to be doing a bit of a different video compared to what I do normally, which is like gameplay videos of me playing like live and all that. I'm kind of doing something a little bit different. So this video is basically going to be talking about the new killer, having a general overview of the killer, and what I think about him. So let's I have this whole video set up in like little segments of lore, character, his power, blah blah blah, what I thought about him, things like that. So basically I have a whole like 3-page document written out on general overviews of everything, and let's get into it right about now. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about the lore of the Trickster. So it's probably one of the darkest lores I've seen from any of the killers as of now. He figured out that he loved to hear the screams of people after his bandmates got burned alive. So he decided like, oh, that's really nice. I love that. So now he decides to abduct and torture people. And then he like records those screams and he uses that and puts it, like hides it deep within his music, which is really fucking weird. And I tend to really enjoy that part of him. But yeah, that's part of it. His lore is kind of cool, so I would suggest taking a look at it. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about how the Trickster looks. So physically, on my notes, I have it written down as he's hot as fuck. Stomp on me, please. I simp. He's a hot killer. Attractive. He's the most humanoid looking killer compared to everyone else. So there's that. He has yellow eyes. Really cool. That's about it for the physical description about him. His power now is called Showstopper. So he has 60 knives that he's able to reload at a locker. So kind of like Huntress in a way. And he throws these knives at survivors. And once he hits 8 of them on a single survivor, that survivor goes down in a hell state. So as you hit a survivor with a knife, their laceration meter goes up until you hit that 8th knife where they go down, or they go down in injured state. There's also a new mechanic called laceration. So as a survivor gets hit with these knives, their laceration meter goes up until you hit that 8th knife where that survivor gets a hit state knocked down. Also, to note, over time, the laceration mirror will go down if that survivor hasn't been hit in a while. So after like 5 or 10 seconds, that laceration meter starts to go down. So you need to continuously hit that survivor. So now let's go on to his special attack. It's called Main Event. So it's a gauge that you fill with successful knife hits. Once full, you can activate it, which makes you not slow down while you're throwing these knives. And it increases your throw rate of the knives as well. I keep saying knives. I just love saying knives. Also, it gives you unlimited knives. Oh, there's another knife for you. Yeah, there you go. I just love saying knives all the time, apparently. Yeah, my script is awful. But yeah, you get unlimited knives, you throw fast, and you don't get slowed down when throwing these knives. So, whoop-de-doo. I don't see a point in it, I'll be honest. That's his special attack, which it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now let's talk about some of his perks. So, his first perk is called Starstruck. So it activates when you start carrying a survivor, and any survivors within your terror radius, which is 24 meters, suffers from the exposed status effect for 20, 25, and 30 seconds. I think this is a really, really good perk, especially now because all the palette saves, all the flashlight saves, and all the body blocking that goes on against survive with friends and all that. So this perk, I think, is a pretty good perk. I think it might be a good meta perk. It might be meta, not too sure, but it's a good perk overall. So next perk we have Hex Crowd Control. So it reads the entity blocks a window for 10, 12, and 14 seconds after a survivor performs a rushed vault through it. And it's a hex perk, so it only lasts as long as a hex totem does. The way I see it is it's basically Bamboozle, but with a hex instead. It can work if the survivors are in like a single building with a couple exit ways, but besides that, there's not many uses that I see for that perk. So that's the one perk I do not really tend to like. So his third and final perk is called No Way Out. So for each one of the survivors that you manage to hook, No Way Out gains a token, so 4 tokens in total. When the last generator is repaired, the entity blocks both exit gate switches for 8, 9, or 10 seconds per token. So basically you can get up to 32, 36, or 40 tokens. It's Blood Warden, but for the exit gate lever. So that's about it. It's a good endgame perk that I think is going to be used a lot with No-Ed Blood Warden. So that's a perk I see a lot of endgame killers using. So I think it's a pretty cool perk. So yeah. So now let's talk about some of his add-ons. So his add-ons are pretty basic for long-range killers like Huntress and Deathslinger, things like that. So he gets more knives, he gets faster throwing, things like that. But there are 2 add-ons that I really think are cool that tend to draw me to them. So the first one is Trick Blades. So basically his knives ricochet off the environment. Only one time though, but it's really cool. I think it's awesome. I used it a couple times and I got hits that I didn't think I was actually going to hit. And the other one is Edge of Revival Album, which the blades shatter when they hit like a wall or a tree. So it's the opposite of the Trick Blades. Instead of ricocheting, they shatter and they deal 50% laceration, while the Trick Blades deal 100% laceration. So you get half the damage, but you don't have to actually hit the survivor. I don't think they can work together. You either pick one or the other, but these are the 2 add-ons that I really like and I think people should run. So yeah, there you go. Final thoughts. Okay, so I think this killer is super cool, super awesome. I love his lore and I love his aesthetic and all that good stuff, but his knife hits and his server not hitting things, it's just it really kills him as a killer. Same with his movement speed. But his perks, I do like his perks. His add-ons aren't bad, but it has to be his movement speed and the 8 knife hits to get a down. That really hurts him, and I don't think he's gonna last in a high played spot because of that. Another issue I have with him is that it takes 8 knife hits to drop a survivor down a hell state. Personally, I think that is way too many knives. I mean, he does have 60 of them, but there also seems to be a problem with the hitboxes. There have been cases where I have played against him, and knives have literally gone through my body, and nothing happens. I mean, it could be a server issue, but it's a big issue when you have to hit 8 of those knives, and half of them fail. Also, compared to other ranged killers like Huntress and Deathslinger, he is really, really bad at getting hits in a sufficient amount of time. The amount of time it would take to get those 8 knife hits compared to a Huntress hatchet or a Deathslinger shot literally takes forever. Both of those killers would already have a hit, while the Trickster would still be throwing his knives. So the time to get your first hit is so much quicker when you're playing a different range killer like Huntress or Deathslinger. I do think his power is really cool, but it tends to delay the first hit on the survivor. So that's why I tend to really dislike the killer. Sorry. So thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate it. If there are any mistakes in the video, please don't yell at me. This is the first time I have had to write a script for a video. Usually I just talk without like thinking or whatever. So please be nice. I don't know if I'll continue to do script videos because I get really anxious. But thank you guys for watching nonetheless. I appreciate it. Have a good one, everyone. And I'll see you in the next video.